What up, folks? I'm Ultrazilla, and today I have a review to Playmates Toys Godzilla vs. Kong collectible figures. Or minifigures. That's right, my Zillions, I got it! I was able to get this thanks to Zillion and friend of the channel, Daikaiju Down Under. Picked this up for me in Australia, and sent it over. Yes, shipping was a bit of a bear, but I am so used to shipping stuff from overseas. That's part of the cost of doing business, so that doesn't bother me. The fact that I was able to get this at retail, though, that is amazing, and I'm very happy about that because even prices, say, on like AliExpress for the individual ones was like the cost of like just the full set. And that, my friends, I cannot say would be worth it. But to get it at retail and yeah, just pay for shipping like that, that is awesome. I am very, very happy. Thank you, man. You've made me really happy about this because I really wanted to feature this on the channel. On the back here, as you see, we got the standard GVK style guide sheet. But it's all about these little minifigures. Godzilla, Kong, Hellhawk, Skullcrawler, Warbat, and Behemoth, which seems to be the one that's kind of hot, I guess, on eBay or expensive on eBay or something. This is awesome. I'm really, really happy to have this. This looks really, really cool like this, but not about the in-package. I'm gonna open this up carefully because I promised my pal G Forever that I was going to send over the package for him because, yeah, I don't need the package. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go open this and then we'll get to the review. So before we get into the individual reviews here, one thing I wanted to mention at the top, but it didn't make it into my final version of that opening, was something I know a lot of folks are going to be asking. How do I get these in the US? Well, there was an email that went around that came from Playmates stating that these particular figures would not be available in the US. I don't know how accurate it was, but that email did look legit to me personally. However, saying that, prior to that, from my sources, I had been told that these would be coming out in the US at some point. Most likely in a discount type store like a Five Below or Dollar General, something like that, I think. Now, the GVK Playmates line was exclusive to Walmart, so I don't know like if that's a thing or not, you know, as far as these figures are concerned. So the jury is still out on that. But that's what made me just want to just try to get them. Like I did. So when the opportunity arose to get them in a spot that wasn't like AliExpress and stuff. So there you go. I just wanted to mention that because I know folks are going to be like asking, oh, but why can't I get these? Right now, the only way to get these is outside of the US. So let's kick things off with the G of the GVK. And that's Godzilla, and it looks pretty good. I gotta say, all these guys look pretty decent overall for such tiny figures. I like this one. I think it's pretty good. You know, the detail is not bad for something this small. Now, you can see the outer dorsal fins do not have paint except for one that looked like it got a little splash right there. Same thing happened on this side. I can see at the very tip, there's a couple that did, but the dorsal fin paint is pretty much like saved for this middle row. And that looks fine. I do like it. No other paint on the body of this figure, but the gray looks decent enough. That it's kind of like that lighter look for Godzilla that we've seen. His teeth are painted a little bit too white. And his eyes are like overly done. I don't think they needed to try to get the pupil in there. I think they should have just went with the blue. I think it would have been fine. I don't think anybody would have minded. I kind of think it kind of looks a little goofy like that. You do get a little paint inside the mouth, but boy, does that look funny if you look at it from head on. Yep, it does. But overall, the little shape of this isn't bad. I do dig it. Now, none of these guys have articulation, so something to note. They're just little PVC figures. As for Kong, I think he fares a lot better. He is beefy. He's a nice little beefy figure. Look at this guy is ripped. The muscles look awesome on this guy. I like how he's done. The head sculpt is pretty good. The eyes look decent, I guess. I think so. The mouth looks pretty good too. The scar on his chest is painted well. And the rest is just done in brown, but I think it's a nice sculpt. Kong butt. Always get the Kong butt. But yeah, fur detail is pretty good. Again, the details are decent for figures this size. I like this one. I do. I think Kong turned out really well. I think he turned out a lot better than Godzilla, in my opinion. Skullcrawler looks pretty good, too. Nice shape to it. I like how the tail goes out like that. And I think it looks pretty good. A little spike there. I think that's supposed to be a spike. Paint is okay. Got the red and then the yellow over that. Face is sufficiently creepy. Skullcrawlers are. So yeah, I think the sculpt is pretty good on this. Bottom is sculpted decent. There's a little fleck of paint right there, but who cares? I mean, who cares? I like it. I think it's a good little Skullcrawler. Proportions are good, and the proportions are pretty good on Godzilla and Kong. I didn't mention that, but I think Godzilla looks fine. I think Kong, you know, is beefy. But yeah, he looks pretty good. And the Skullcrawler looks really nice as well. So this is good. Next up, Warbat or Nozuki, whatever, you know, you want to call him, is not bad. He comes on this little stand. That's interesting. You can't take it off like that. So it just kind of hooks onto him. And it stands pretty good on there, as you can see. The sculpt down here looks really nice. A very snake-like sculpt. His little head is pretty good. The eyes are painted. I like that sculpt. Body looks pretty good. And then you got this brown paint. It goes up into the wings and stuff. Now, the wings are interesting. I don't know what's going on here, but one wing is significantly smaller than the other. And I don't know. I see my little Playmates. I'm going to take that out in a second, but when we do comparisons. But that looks really strange to me, and I'm not sure how accurate that is. It might be, and I might be forgetting, but that looks weird, like very asymmetrical. I don't know. Sculpt is good, though. Sculpt is good on both sides. No doubt about that. So proportionally, that's a little odd to me, the way they did that. But overall, it's a decent Warbat. Yeah, it's okay. Next up, we got Hellhawk, and I like this one, especially since this is the only representation of this kaiju in this form. Now, Hellhawk is not to scale with everybody else, unless we want to consider this like a queen or king Hellhawk, like a kaiju size one, because the Hellhawks were like more human sized. But I'll take it. It looks good. The wings are big and long, and I kind of feel like this should have been called Warbat, and they should have just stuck with that Nozuki name for the other one, because this looks more like a Warbat than a Hellhawk, in my opinion. Sculpt is really nice on the back and on the wings. I like that. It comes on a little stand that you can take off. I like the nails painted gray. Chest looks pretty good. The arms over here look really nice. And the head sculpt's pretty good. As you can see, the beak is painted gray, and it's got red beady eyes. And I really like the shape of that head. I really like the shape of the back that goes into the head. It has kind of like a Varan type of feel to it in those terms. So I don't know. This is pretty good. Proportions are nice. I really like this. I really do. Yeah, this is a good one. And finally, we got Behemoth. And it's exciting to get Behemoth. I like this character a lot. I wish he was in this movie. Like, it would have been cool to see him in like an opening fight, like with Kong or Godzilla or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been really sweet, you know? I would have liked that a lot. Him versus Kong. A lot of fur flying. I think that would have been cool. Speaking of fur, the body looks pretty good. No other colors there, but pretty good detail. He's got a little dorsal fin on the back, which is pretty awesome. He's like I don't know. I like this guy. You know? I think that's the general consensus with a lot of folks. They just thought Behemoth looked really cool, and he does. Like this kind of like elephant, Sasquatch, ape guy. I don't know. I like it. Big tusks with all the moss on there. Really painted well. Hanging off too. That is awesome. The eyes look really great. Proportions look nice on this. I like it. I like it, you know. I can see why this one's fetching more in the individual releases than other ones. This is absolutely excellent. For your size comparisons, first up, here is some of the bigger versions from Playmates, as well as the YMSF Behemoth. So you can see just how small the scale. Now, yes, that YMSF Behemoth scales really nicely with the Playmate stuff. There was no Hellhawk, but you know what? I just realized we didn't get a Mechagodzilla in this set. They give us Behemoth, but not Mechagodzilla. How odd. What a really weird choice, unless they were just trying to keep it a secret, and they just never made one for this. Also, I guess they are not symmetrical, the wings to Warbat, though I do think that this one's a little more exaggerated. This one is a little smaller than this one, but it's not as obvious as this little guy. And the other size comparison I want to do is with the recent HGD Plus from Bandai. You can see that those figures are slightly bigger. You can see that. I mean, the pose is very, very similar with the skull crawlers there. But yeah, and here's a Mechagodzilla. You can see that those guys are a little bit bigger, so these guys are very, very small. And my final thoughts, I mean, they're small, but they're really nice. Overall, you know, I like them. I do. Godzilla's got a little bit of a goofy paint scheme on his face, but otherwise, that's really my only complaint. And yeah, the Warbat wings are a little bit too asymmetrical. I get that. I think they're supposed to be asymmetrical, but that's a little bit too much. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty good. Kong is really nice. Skullcrawler is really nice. Behemoth is cool, and Hellhawk is cool. Really glad to have Hellhawk again, because that's the only figure of that character at all around. So that is pretty awesome. And yeah, to get another Behemoth is nice. And it is really nice. It's a good little figure. I am pleased. That is my final thoughts. I hope these come out in the US, because everybody should get a chance to get them. You know, can I say that they're worth importing? If you get somebody to send them over to you, and you don't mind the shipping cost, you know, that's fine, you know, like, but if you have to pay, like, a lot for each individual one, no, I don't think so. I wouldn't do it, you know. But yeah, worth what they're worth, and I like them. So, you know, you make your own decisions. If it makes you happy to get them, you go ahead and you do you. No one is stopping you. So I'm really happy to have them. I do thank Daikaiju Down Under once again for sending these over to me. I'm very, very, very pleased with them. And that's it. I hope you dug this review. Let me know your thoughts below. And if you could please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Stay safe. Till next time. Peace out.